play the freaking Emperor's music. Is the teleprompter right this time? Okay. This is President Barack Obama. Well, I'm not fundamentally transforming America. I love listening to Brock Lolly. I think he's almost as awesome as me. Wait, what the... And now your host, Brock Lolly.
What have you been making the world we're living in, buddy? It's got to be driving you crazy. Every week it's crazier than the week before.
You've been nailing it, dude. It's really frightening. You're going after Fox News.
That's the reason people are poor. Fox News. It's just so ridiculous. But you know there are people out there, oh yeah. Fox News, that makes sense.
You really nailed it when you said that the most intolerant, closed-minded people are. Say they dress up in the rhetorical garments of inclusivity. I mean, that is so true.
The weird thing in my mind is that guys like you and me who are very, very clear and hard on our sleeve about our value system, we are more than willing to experience things and talk to people and discuss things. They write us completely off. I've always been curious, and I've come up with a bunch of different theories, and I don't really know how accurate they are. But they're able to exist in that cognitive dissonance. Somehow they allow these exceptions for some people in their head. And the only thing I can think of is if you read history, these different movements will always have this one person who's so subhuman. Oftentimes it's the Jews. The Germans made up all kinds of excuses as to why they didn't need to treat Jews like they needed to treat everybody else. They were dogs, they were pigs, they were the cause of all the problems. So all the rules they would make for everybody didn't have to apply to the Jews. The Jews were the exception. And that's what the left does to us. And I don't understand how they're able to deal with it in their head. How do they get over the blatant hypocrisy of it, except just to villainize us so deeply that we stop being human? And then in their head, they're like, well, I don't have to treat this guy like a normal human because he's not a normal human. He's a conservative or he's a Christian. And conservatives and Christians aren't deserving of discussion or a meeting of the minds. And that's what I'm presently working on, but I really don't know because I'm not of that thinking. If they were to apply these standards to any other group of people, they themselves would reprimand themselves. You know what I mean? They'd be like, whoa, I'm way out of line.
Yeah, the way that they come at us.
My point is I have a curiosity of how they reconcile that in their mind. I know that they do. Right now, the media, the political correctness, the education system, pretty much every influential group in the United States tries to convince Americans to disagree with you and me on this issue. So you might be able to say that we have the minority position on this, at least in the populace. Would they apply these same rules to, say, other various minority groups who don't have the power, who don't have the influence?
They're constantly saying that people are gunning for the gays, and we're not. No one is. I mean, there's your fringe Westboro Baptist, but you're always going to have that.
Who's gunning for the gays? Exactly. I don't know of anybody gunning for the gays.
It's just a fictitious narrative that way they can create another class of people that they can protect and take care of, pat on the back.
That's exactly what they're doing. I had this really good friend. It was when I was working in television. He's a Hispanic guy, right? He's teetering, his worldview is being shaped. He's kind of a newly minted American, been here a couple of years, 5, 6, 7 years. And he's kind of just saying he's really seduced by the left because he knows that the left is popular and he doesn't want to be unpopular. And I said to him, and I really mean this, I said, you should beware of the Democratic Party by way of your own culture. Because if you look at the African-American community, they hitched their wagon to the Democratic Party about 75 years ago, 50 years ago to be
clearly, yeah.
And look at the state of black culture. It is in shambles. It's like a bomb went off, and now it's triage. And I said, do you want that to be your culture 50 years from now? Because if you crawl in bed with them, you become a victim there under their tent of condescension. Your culture will slowly be eaten alive. Because right now, you say what you want about the Hispanic culture, but they're very, very family-oriented, and they have a very strong work ethic. If you want to see that go away, lickety split, hitch your wagon to the Democrats and their jump and jive nonsense. And you're going to see your culture go down a toilet. Look at it 50 years ago and look at it now, and you tell me what the variable is. And we started talking about this, and he was like, well, you're right. I mean, the truth is right now, I don't know if the Hispanic culture, I know the media wants us to think that they're all left, but I don't know if they've decided yet where they're really going to go. I mean, right now, because of the immigration thing, they want everybody to be legal. They'll probably end up getting that, I think.
What do you think the biggest issue we're looking at is?
Well, if that happens, it's game over. I mean, that's a huge issue. The biggest issue we're dealing with, in my humble opinion, is terrorism. People have forgotten about that.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I've asked. What is, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, it's terrorism. I mean, it's the least interesting thing to people. They don't care. But Barack Obama has been so bad on foreign policy. The world is a total and complete nightmare right now. And these people are not to be underestimated. These are stone cold killers, are hell bent with a religious zeal on killing the West. And we're not taking it seriously. That and all the other bad actors on the global stage are off the chain right now because they see weakness. You got China. I don't know if you noticed this, but Russia had this big, huge military event day where they marched their tanks and their military to the streets, and China marched with them. And there's this whole big partnership going on between Russia and China. Do you even see the American media even talking about that? There's a lot of pieces moving on the foreign policy board that nobody's paying attention to. But on a political level, my opinion is if they get what they want, which I happen to think they will, because the Republican Party is so cowardly and useless, if they get full amnesty, it's game over. Because all those guys are going to become Democratic voters, who'll go in every election on the victimcrat thing. The conservatives like you and me will have absolutely no representation in government. We'll have no way of influencing our government. We'll be completely at the mercy of people who are taking hand-to-mouth, by-vote benefits for the Democrats. And the country will have no way of getting out of this mess. And the Democrats know it. That's why they're pushing the immigration thing so hard. You'll notice Hillary's doing that now. That's her thing. It's just everybody come in, doors wide open. Couple that with the terrorism thing, right? So you got the immigration thing. But also, if you have a porous border, if your border's wide open, you also make your citizens extremely susceptible to terror. So I think that's extremely important. And what are we talking about? We're talking about what? Cops or some nonsense like that, some made-up race, class, warfare nonsense, or Brady's deflated footballs, and that's all we're talking about. So, I mean, you just have like a complete and total disinterested population. And it's not as though the nation at present can't recover, but there's just such a powerful force in distracting us and dividing us. Nobody seems to care. I leave room for hope, believe it or not. It is possible. Yeah. But it's looking bad. If I had to bet, I'd bet Hillary Clinton's going to be our president. If I had to bet.
No.
I never wanted to be more wrong, dude. If I'm wrong on this, I'm going to be dancing in the streets. I'm going to be saying, Barack Obama doesn't know anything. He's an idiot. Hallelujah. But if I had to bet.
Do you think it's the historic significance again?
Well, somebody said to me, you bet your life on it. Like that's what you got to say to yourself. Not what. See, with politics, I have my heart and then I have my mind. I usually go with my mind. So my heart obviously wants Hillary Clinton to go down in flames. But my mind tells me the fix is in. Do you notice that the GOP candidates are all rolling out one by one? You know, they're all declaring their candidacy. I like a ton of them. I could be happy with a lot of those guys and girls. We're trying to fight them exchanging musket fire. And if we keep doing that, we're going to lose. Because the fix is in. We're going to lose that way. We got to do the Mel Gibson and the Patriot thing. You know, guerrilla warfare on them and rethink the whole model. Stop playing by their rules because we're going to lose. You know, you don't go on the media channels. They're not going to give you a fair shake. You know, all they're going to do is call you a woman hater or a baby hater or a poor hater or a black hater. But then they're going to get that sound clip. They're going to go to Jon Stewart. They're going to play it for the drones. And now every time the drones think of like Rand Paul or whoever, they're just going to think he doesn't like women. Or some nonsense like that.
They shouldn't go on any of them.
I don't know why they do. Why do you think they're doing it? I'm just curious what you think.
I don't know. They need to stop though. They can't go on there.
We got to rethink the whole model and come up with like a new rebel model that is not stereotypical, so that the left doesn't know what to do with it. That's what we got to do, in my opinion. That's my new push. That's what I want people to start thinking about. Reinvent the way we look at it. Don't do things the way everybody's always, don't do John McCain, because John McCain loses. Don't do Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney loses. Do new 2015. Play a different game.
Follow him on Facebook and Twitter.